Hi guys, my name is Manxers, or as some of you may know me as Ben, and today I'm just going to talk about basically my health issues that have kind of ruined my 20s. And I know a lot of people are suffering in the same way as me, so I just thought I'd put a video out there to raise some awareness about the subject and give you my story about how it's affected my life and things like that. So, yeah, I'm not going off any kind of script here. I'm just kind of rambling and I'll edit the parts together, but I'll give you a rundown on kind of what's happened in my life and things like that. I know this isn't usual for the channel by any means. We play games and things over here, but I just thought I'd let you know kind of what's going on with me. So when I was younger, I was really active, going out playing football with friends. I used to do a lot of running as well. I used to run for a club and always active. Honestly, even just getting out of school, I would go and play some football, and I think this ran on through college as well. So yeah, and then obviously after all that kind of stopped, friends go their separate ways and things like that. It happens to everyone. So then I got into the gym, and this was when I was working, when I was about maybe when I started work for my company at 22, something like that. 22, yeah, 20, 22, 23, something like that. Anyway, so I started going gym, went for 6 months straight, got into pretty good shape, and then I just probably stopped because lose motivation and things like that, and I kind of just lost sight of what I wanted really. So anyway, so then I changed my job. I worked at the same place, but my job title changed into something more physical. And that was all well and good. And then all of a sudden, one day, I just felt an awful pain in my tummy. On that particular day in work, I was non-stop going to the toilet and stuff. My mentor was like, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Like, why do you keep leaving the job and stuff?" Nothing too invasive or anything. He's just wondering if I was all right and that. So I said, "Oh, I got an awful tummy ache." Like, I just thought it might have been an effect of something like long COVID or something, or I might have had a bug or whatever. Anyway, this persisted and persisted and persisted. So I thought, right, something is wrong here. So anyway, got in touch with my doctor and was like, there's something not right here. My tummy's all wrong and I'm going to the toilet a lot more than I should. It was terrible, really, because I didn't feel comfortable doing anything. Even going into work was painful kind of thing. I was never comfortable. I was always in some sort of pain in my tummy. Even when I wasn't needing to go to the toilet, it was like bloating and things like that. Got in touch with my doctor and he sent me in for a colonoscopy. So anyway, I went and had that done, and they said, "Oh, you've got irritation on your bowels, but it's not IBS." But then nothing followed after that. There was no conclusion of what I've had or anything. So just kind of had to sit and suffer with it. And as people will know with these problems, you get prescribed Imodium and things like that. But I wasn't exactly comfortable with taking that every single day, because it does have its side effects and that's not a long term solution. That's just managing the problem. Anyway, as time's gone on now, my symptoms have become more and more severe, and I'm booked in to have another, look inside and things like that. But as time's gone on and stuff, I'm losing my job and things. That's why I'm streaming now, just to do something. And my workplace have been really good with me and stuff. They'd probably give me as much time as they could have, so I've got no complaints about that. But it's really messed my life up, really. So I don't feel comfortable going out the house. I don't go out to town or things like that. I mean, it was never my most favorite pastime ever or anything like that, but um, sometimes it's nice to just go and have like maybe one or two drinks with your friends because I was never big into drinking anyway, which I will get onto soon. And many others probably have really suffered with this kind of thing and kind of been fobbed off a little bit by the NHS because only now, many many years later from my first colonoscopy and things, am I now getting looked at again. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but I've been really ill. you know, like to the point where I can't even enjoy going out of the house anymore. So it's pretty rubbish. Like my mum's, you know, she's done a lot of digging on this stuff and seeing what might actually be the problem. When I was younger, when I was when I was 13, sorry, when I was 13, it was in 2012. So when I was 13, I had a liver transplant, right? But the specific issue that I had with my liver, it goes hand in hand with things like IBS and Crohn's and things like that. There could be a link there, you know, it could be linked to the medication that I have to take. So it could be something to do with that basically. And the problem being with that as well is like if I want to try and fix my gut using, you know, probiotics, prebiotics, things like that, I can't have those things because they've got live cultures in them and people with transplants can't typically have that stuff because of the risk of infection because your immune system's dulled when you're on these medications. So basically, your brain doesn't recognize this liver isn't yours. So I've really suffered in that sense. And I'm not trying to do it as a pity party. I'm trying to like just boost some awareness for this kind of problem because loads of people are suffering with it and silently as well because it's not an easy topic to talk about. Like you go in the toilet so much, you know what I mean? It's pretty embarrassing. But I thought I'd get on here and just speak about it and that's where my life's at the minute. You know, I'm trying to do all this streaming stuff at home and just recording things because I'm not mega comfortable going out of the house. You know, and if I do go out the house, it's maybe for a 10-minute walk. And you know, I've tried everything under the sun myself. I got celiac tested, it wasn't that. I've been lactose tested, it wasn't that. I went off dairy and things like that and still no change. And we've been looking for other methods. I did a 3-day fast in which I was 64 kilos back down to 61, which is where I've remained because you know, I'm not a massive eater or anything like that unless I try and put my mind to it, like, you know, if I want to bulk or what have you. But typically I'm not a massive eater, you know, I'd eat breakfast and I eat dinner and then there's just small things in between, maybe toast, things like that. So basically, my end goal is just to get my health back. You know, it's like it's your fundamentals. It's the base for everything you do. You know, so and some of my friends, even my girlfriend, will attest to this. You know, when I go traveling and stuff, I'm probably a bit of a nightmare because you know I have to keep going near the toilet and stuff like that. You can't really venture out with someone like that who's that's not so healthy with the guts and stuff. So, but thankfully, my friends and my girlfriend are really understanding in that respect. So I'm glad I get to have those as friends. You know, really help me out and stuff with being understanding and that. And if anyone in the comments feels the same or you know is going through something similar, please leave it down in the comments if they have any advice, if they've beaten these kind of symptoms before and how they did it. I know there's a for those people who don't have transplants and things like that. I'm not sure if I can have it yet, but there's apparently a tea called the fifth ray, which is supposed to be really good. So if you're struggling with that, maybe look into that because that guy had to have a colostomy bag and things like that, and he lost a load of weight, and he made this tea out of I'm sure it's like various herbs and things, stuff he did research on, and it helped him get a lot better. He's no longer got a colostomy bag now, and his problems are all sorted out. So that's just yeah, that's just where I'm at with life at the minute. Again, it's not a pity party. I just want people to basically know like a lot of young people are going through this thing. Like so many young people, I see it on Facebook and things like that on my mum's Facebook, particularly where she follows all this stuff. Um, there's loads of young people going through this, and I'm not discrediting old people. I'm just saying like when you're young, you're supposed to have that like vitality where you just you know you can go out and you're not invincible by any means, but you know I'm only in my late 20s. I'm only 27, and I feel like this has just ruined my whole 20s, which is rubbish. Really, it's supposed to be some of the best years of your life, like so. Yeah, it's rubbish. So anyway, that'll be it from me. I know it's a bit of a different video on the channel, but I just wanted some people to be aware of what might be going on in people's lives. You know, it basically affects your whole way of living. So Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment and things like that, especially if you're going through this kind of thing, and maybe we can all help each other out together. Right, see you later, guys. Bye bye.